When it comes to Social Security, every lawmaker has their own opinion. However, who is right? Which agenda will we go with? Are we going to see an increase? Will there be a decrease? What is going to happen? Well, honestly, it doesn't matter what lawmakers think. What matters is, what do the numbers show? That's the biggest question. And today, I'm going to show you exactly what is happening. We're going to talk about the latest increase. We're going to talk about the increase in income and also the increase in expenditures. This is huge, and something has just happened. And I want to break down what's going on and how this could potentially impact you. So make sure you stick around for this entire video, and I'll explain it in just a second. So we do have some good news, and the good news is that the cost of living adjustment for 2024 is going to be 3.2%. Now, whether you think that is a big increase or a small increase, it is an increase. That is the most important thing. The average monthly benefit, just to give you an idea, it's going to go up about $60 per month. Again, it's not a massive increase. It's not the $150 we saw back in 2023, but it is something. At least we are seeing increases. Now, just so you have an idea, this roughly $60 per month increase, this does not include, or at least doesn't account for, the uptick in the Medicare Part B price, which now will increase by about $10 per month. So, that is the good news, is that yes, you are going to see an increase. In just a second, I want to go over some of the numbers. I want to go over what Social Security has been paying out, what they're getting back. But before I do, I want to go over some of the bad news. And this is bad news because this means we do not have answers. We don't know what is going to happen. The bad news is that since 2018, initial disability claims for processing has doubled. We know that it keeps going up. It used to be 3.4 months. That's about how long it took for a claim to process. Now, in July of 2023, it's 7.2 months. So it is taking a lot longer. We know the average wait time for calls, just calling the Social Security Administration, back in 2019, you would have sat on the phone for maybe 20 minutes. Now it's increased by 115%. It is now at 43 minutes in 2023. But why? What's the reason for this? Why are we seeing that the times are increasing? Why? What's the purpose? Well, it's actually pretty simple. There's an increase in people claiming Social Security, but there's a decrease in staffing. Right now, the Social Security Administration has been understaffed for many years. And this is why some people in Congress believe that the Social Security Administration needs additional funding in order for them to survive, but also for people to continue to claim their benefits. But here's the problem. The problem is that there's also many people within Congress that would like to reduce the amount of overall government spending. And if we reduce the amount of overall government spending, this could include the Social Security Administration, which would mean the Social Security Administration would be even more underfunded than they have been in the past. So again, this isn't the greatest news, but the biggest problem right now, we don't have a Speaker of the House. And I talk about this every single day, that are we getting closer? Last week, we had votes. And potentially we could have had a new Speaker of the House. The new Speaker of the House could have been Representative Jim Jordan. However, that's not the case. He actually backed out because he went through 3 votes, and every single time he was voted for, well, he got less votes. So now, or actually yesterday, there were 9 people that were up for the seat of potentially being the Speaker of the House. As of this morning, it went down to 8. One person dropped out. So, when we do get the next Speaker of the House, then and only then we can see the House of Representatives actually legislate. We can see them pass bills. One of the biggest bills that they need to pass at this time is the government funding bill. And if the government funding bill includes less funding for the Social Security Administration, then wait times, call times, processing times are all going to take longer. Just be aware that is going to happen. Now, I want to show you this chart. Here's the chart right here. Let me explain it and I'll give you some numbers. So in this chart right here, you can see, and this is starting from 1987 all the way to 2023. The green line right here shows the total income that is coming in for the Social Security Trust Fund. The red line right here shows the total outgo, right? They cross about 2018. That's a problem. So they cross about 2018, and you see the gap, how wide it is, okay? We were about $400 billion right here. This was in 2005, 2004, 2005. The amount of money we brought in was about $550 billion, but we only pushed out about 400. So we had about $150 billion in excess that can continue to go on to the next year. So that is a very important chart, and I'll come back to that in just a second. But what you need to understand is the contributions for this year, for 2023, they jumped by 11.8%. And this was because people got massive pay increases, and there was more people working. Okay, that was good. But, and let's go back to the chart, see this, the green line is the total income. It is below the amount of money going out. We brought in about $1.15 trillion, where the amount of money that went out was about $1.2 trillion. So we're about $50 billion behind in the hole. So we had to pretty much figure out a way to get $50 billion, right? That came out of the Social Security Trust Fund. This is one of the reasons why the Social Security Trust Fund is becoming insolvent, because we have to keep taking money from it because we don't get enough. But the reason why the total outgo was so much more, because there was more people at the retirement age of 67, and we received an 8.7% cost of living adjustment. One of the biggest worries that many people have right now is that there are more and more people, baby boomers, that are claiming Social Security now. They're reaching full retirement age and they are claiming their benefits. The other problem is that we are being talked about like we're going to go into a recession here in the United States. If we do people want to try and go to get a job and try and work? Or do they want to just go and claim and get their Social Security benefit? That's what a lot of people are doing. So many people are actually claiming their benefits early. Again, it's a huge, huge problem. Now, the total income from all sources, it jumped by about $111 billion from the year before. Okay, that's about a 10.7% increase. Now, the U.S. government, just so you have an idea, they fund Social Security based off of taxes. We pay 12.4%. 6.2% is from the employer. 6.2% is from the employee. That is where the 12.4% comes from. Now, the problem with this is that many people are saying we have to increase that tax rate. Other people say, no, we should not increase the tax rate. What we need to do is increase the total tax cap. Currently, it's $160,200. But in 2024, because of inflation, it's going to go to about $168,000. So we are going to be able to tax a little bit more money. It's going to come up to about $1,100 in additional taxes that people will have to pay. Now, one thing that you need to keep in mind, though, when it comes to Social Security, the 8.7% cost of living adjustment, this was the biggest since I believe like 1981. Now, this increase was actually part of the reason why more people decided to go and claim Social Security benefits, because they wanted to take part in that 8.7% cost of living adjustment. So more people retired. And now that more people retired, the problem is there are more open positions. But we are not getting as much money in, okay? Look at this. Again, the income coming in for this year, there's not as much coming in because more people retired. And the problem that there's more money going out is because all those people did retire and they're not working. So the money isn't coming in because they're not being charged taxes, and the money's going out, which is creating this little deficit. So the problem that we're facing right now is that lawmakers have to figure out a way to ensure that Social Security doesn't become insolvent. Do they increase funding? Do they increase the do they decrease the expenses? Really the only way to decrease expenses is to cut Social Security benefits. Now, I don't see that happening, especially right before a presidential election. If that were to happen, the party that pushed that would be political suicide for them. So, this is what we know at this time. Again, there's a lot of discussions happening for Social Security, but I just wanted to address some of the good news, some of the bad news, and what's happening that could potentially impact you. So, if you have any questions whatsoever, please ask your questions down in the comment section below. Again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing. I'll see you guys on the next one.